All right. Well, we'll go ahead and get started now. Appreciate everybody for attending. This session is going to be more focused on the strategy and where it fits in the market. I will do a brief overview of the platform again at the end. But again, we can also share the first webinar, which went through much more detail about the platform itself and the hardware. So we'll overview some of that, but again, want to talk about a new program we're launching as well as where we fit and how to position us. And so I'll go ahead and get started. My name's Chris Steineck. I'm head of sales at Jungo for North America. Have 13 years in the industry. Have been in many different capacities throughout, and so all paths lead to kind of where my fit has been, and that's really just finding niches in the industry and finding the products that best fit those niches. And so I think as most of you have seen, and some of you are going to see, this is something that I think fits very, very, succinctly within the reseller industry. And so with that, I'll jump right in and introduce Jungo, the organization. So Jungo itself, for those of you who don't know, is a publicly traded company on the Tel Aviv Stock Exchange. Have been in the auto industry for several years. Jumped to driver management systems about 8 years ago, I'd say, and since have registered over 40 patents in the space themselves. Um, you know, 1 billion shipped of embedded software for consumer electronics is another part of Jungo, as well as 5 million cars a year with multimedia middleware for automotive infotainment, meaning, they've been in the industry for years, just pivoted to the DMS here more recently. But what to take from that, Jungo is a very established organization, not a startup. And we're 45 plus, almost 50 strong, as employees, as accountants. So very skilled people, great team, and just a great team to stand behind a great product. All right to it. So why VuDrive? Really, nobody needs everything, right? Not everybody needs everything out there. Meaning, with Geotab in the marketplace, there's, and I'll get to this in the next slide, but what we're not is just one of those other dash cams in on the marketplace. We're different. I didn't want to come into this space and try to compete with the other dash cams on the marketplace. It's a crowded space and it's getting more and more crowded every day. And so really what we are is a set and forget, very affordable, complete AI dash cam that enables you to win the cost battle and keep your customers. Meaning, what I'm hearing from you all is, you're having a hard time keeping the, mid to small businesses. You don't have anything that can match what Samsara and Motive are doing on the cost side, as well as a, more robust than just a small solution. Something that fits 80% of the industry. And so that's what we are, but we also don't want to be intensive. And I'll get into the specifics. We don't want it to be a heavy lift for you all as well as your customers. Understanding that you're still servicing a majority of your customers on with Geotab and all the different integrations they have. And so we sit right below that stack, and it help you limit the amount of churn coming out the bottom of your funnel. And so we want you to keep and farm those customers rather than saying, I don't have a solution for that. Saying, look, I have this solution. It's a dash cam. It does 80% of what most the industry needs. And take a look at it. And we'll talk about pricing. We've got very competitive pricing as well. And so the things that the cues that you want to listen for are, Geotab's too expensive. Geotab is too complicated. I don't need all of that. Want to know where my vehicles are and that drivers are being safe is all. And something simple that does the basics. That's where we are. That's who we fit as. We're not a complicated solution. We're a set and forget solution. Consumer friendly is the way we call it. We want to be as simple as all the consumer devices that you utilize. How simple, easy they are to pick up. They're meant for mom, pa, anybody who's never used a dash cam to just pick up and use. And so that's us. And we continue to strive to be better every day in that. So again, really getting with the 80% of it all where Geotab's at right now. 20% of the industry really fits where Geotab's at, right? So that again, like I stated, leaves 80% of the industry that's a fit for Jungo. That's a fit for VuDrive. And especially with Geotab raising their prices from 1850, and then you're trying to put another camera on top of that just to compete, it doesn't make sense. And so we really wanted to be that straightforward, solution, low cost, $13 a month to you. The camera itself, I'll get into the pricing again here is 180, but you can see everything that we do and then some. It's more than enough for your standard fleets that just want dots on a map and want to make sure that the drivers are being safe or have a crash recorder. And we do have some other features that I'll talk about as well, but this is just kind of a view of what the market looks like and how we can better serve this reseller network. So we are Geotab integrated. We have a basic integration. And again, that allows you to upsell back into Geotab without having to change cameras. And so you can just plug that telematics device in, upsell them back into Geotab, and that's the whole premise. Right now, there's nothing to farm. There's no area that you can take them to farm and then resell them back or sell them back up into Geotab or up into Geotab as their fleets grow, their needs grow. It's that ability to be able to keep them in one place, move them back into the more sophisticated, more expensive channels, or if they're again if their needs grow and their business is growing. So again, Geotab integrated, you can see all your events, you can see all of you can see all your trips, all your events, and all the cameras and connections that you have within that. So it's all there. It's a simple add-in, and we're going to continue to develop that as well. So now into the hardware itself. One of the main things, and I didn't talk about this on the last webinar, but I think it's very important, is we wanted the hardware to be less expensive. We wanted it to be powerful though. Our software is developed in a way that we can run and do most of of our processing on the edge. And so we don't have to send a lot to the cloud to be handled there. The software has been written to work on low cost cameras. Fortunately for us, this camera that we utilize as well has a Snapdragon octa-core processor, which is very strong. But again, we can work on a multitude of different. So as we continue to evolve, we want to drive those camera prices down for you all. And everything behind this hardware is written to be on low cost cameras. And so you don't lose the functionality just because, we come out with maybe $100 camera or whatever that is. So that's very important as we continue to evolve. We're not trying to bring up, higher cost cameras. We're really trying to drive costs down for you all and drive the margins up. Simply, I'll go through this fairly quickly. We do have live view. It is a bracket on the front windshield, which is fantastic for leasing companies that have to take the camera out, put them into another vehicle. So if you're a fleet leasing company, a fleet management company, that is a huge advantage to not have to replace the hardware. It's just literally a bracket that slides that the camera slides into. Facial recognition technology, we'll talk a little bit about that coming up here, and that drives the need for less hardware. No dongle, no swiping of the RFID as the driver gets into the vehicle. It's done automatically through facial recognition. Again, set and forget technology, trying to make life easier for you all. Driver in camera, and of course road view. We have a road camera and driver in cab with the ability for night vision as well. So very clear, very succinct video at night. Um, Panic button. We do have a driver initiated button, and so that's the panic button there. And then we do come standard with a 128 gigabyte commercial SD card. And that is expandable. So if your customers' needs are more video stored on the SD card, that's fine. We can expand up to 512. And we also do a phenomenal job of compressing that information, those videos, so that we can, contain a lot more video and extend that life of the SD card or the size of the SD card, and maximize the size. So great conversations if you have specific custom needs that you have clients that need to have extended videos stored. So now we get into the advantages for you all. Remember this, this is set and forget technology. This is about low touch, seamlessly fitting seamlessly into your business. So what I mean by fitting seamlessly into your business is we can ship direct to the customer. And I'll talk about the install here in a minute, but the install is made to be consumer friendly. Simple. Scan a QR code, and it directs you from there. You literally start, and we have an install wizard that walks them through everything within 5 minutes. I mean, if there's some updates, it may take a couple more minutes for the actual dash cam to update. And again, we have over the air updates. It's simple process there, but it's a 5-minute install. We ship direct, so you don't have to handle them. We check every camera, make sure it's connected before it's sent out. So that peace of mind as far as is your customers getting a functional camera with an SD card, with a SIM card, already activated and ready to go. The OBD also comes in the box for more, seamlessly, just simple. It's not an added charge. It's not an added feature. It comes directly in the kit. And so they literally get a kit, open it up, install, set up a report. Report, it's a weekly report that has allows the fleet managers to look at what they need to look at, click into those specific events or trips, and then move on with their day. They don't have to rely on going into the system time and time again and digging for information, but it's there if they need it, and that's the beauty of it. So again, trying to be light on your time so that you can focus on prospecting, growing your business, focus on the heavier lifts, such as geotab if you have multiple stacks from the marketplace on top of geotab with some of your core customers. We really don't want to be labor intensive on you. We want it to be very simple. Bigger margins, and I think that's a key. I've always been very focused on this industry and knowing and seeing where the industry is going as far as supporting the resellers in a way that supports their business. It's few and far between now, unfortunately, and so we want to help promote bigger margins for you all. I'll talk about that in the pricing, but we don't have any additional costs. We don't, throw anything on top. There's no, additional charges here and there that are going to show up and decrease your margins. Right now, what you put on top is what you put on top. And there's a sizable gap between what the industry is expecting and where we're coming to you with pricing. So the opportunity for great margins on a product that's low touch, it's fantastic. It's just a win for you. Catch-all integration, we talked about this. I don't need to go into detail on that, but just being able to capture them, upsell them back into Geotab or upsell them into Geotab for the first time. 80% of the industry, we discussed that, and all-in pricing. We've got the leasing program, and that's one of the things that I wanted to go through with you all after we get done with this deck. And so the all-in pricing is really important for you as well, because it's a competitive advantage that you can now compete with the rest of the industry. It's a competitive advantage against your Geotab products, your whatever it is that you're selling. We're trying to keep you competitive in the marketplace with whatever it is you're competing against with that all-in-one pricing. And just as a cue, and most of you know this, it's under $20 all in to you all. So it's a fantastic price, makes it much easier to market and much easier to sell for your sales teams. All right. So moving on. What's in it for the customer? It's inexpensive, saves money. That's what everyone's looking for. With a possible recession, on the horizon, with the market and the economy where it's at right now, that's really important and weighing on a lot of businesses' minds. And so, wanting to get into a solution that maybe gets them through this time, looking at a recession, they're going to want to, cut costs. So that's where we're here. We're here to help you again, retain those customers that are, say that they're paying too much with Geotab and whatever solutions and just need to downsize for a bit to weather this storm. Well, that's what we're here for. We don't want you to lose those customers. We want you to keep them again and be able to upsell them back into Geotab when the time's right, when the market turns. Self-install, again, saving your customers anywhere from, 75 to $125, depending on the installer, per device. Set and forget. Your customers can focus on their business, can focus on their core objectives, get reports, and based on those reports, can react or not react if everything's going as planned. And so again, really trying to put the onus on us to be this, and not the onus on you to manage it, as well as your customers to manage it. We've already proven with the devices that we have out there, in all the different regions that we have, we've been proven to reduce accidents by 30%. Again, saving lives and saving them money through insurance. Facial recognition, no hardware to manage your drivers across different vehicles and different fleets. And so that again is a cost savings. I think it's $75 for the kit through Geotab, as well as, those dongles. When you need more, you have to buy more. So we're eliminating costs with innovation, with stuff that's commonplace now throughout the industries. And so facial recognition it's on everybody's phones. It's a common thing. It's people are comfortable with it. And so why not use it and save your customers even more money. And then accurate in-cab verbal coaching. So really just coaching out those bad behaviors, making sure your drivers are focusing on the road. That's going to save money, save time, save money, and save lives. And that's what we're here for, is saving the lives portion of it, but also helping you all, and your customers save time and save money. So what we monitor is real simple. Again, we don't want to be everything. We want to be, exactly what this industry needs, this portion of the industry needs. And that's, look, is the driver facing the road? Or his eyes on the road? Is he, we want to make sure he's not looking out the left side or the right side and, losing attention and focus on the road. We want to make sure he's not on the phone. We want to make sure their seatbelt's fastened. And so we do have AI that detects the seatbelt. It's fantastic. And then of course, through the accelerometer, we manage all the driving events as well. And so you'll be able to get, the event notifications for, harsh cornering, acceleration, braking, crash events. And so everything's there to manage your business at a, succinct level, for your customers to be able to manage their business. And still keep their drivers safe. Still, if they have insurance, insurance company mandates that they get some sort of a camera, which is coming to Florida, and will be, I'm sure, going out to a lot of other states. So we can fit that low-cost turnkey solution that meets that insurer's needs, to be able to have a good solution, for this type of initiative. Again, I want to be clear on this. ADAS features, we don't. It's an added cost. We can have them. We're talking about possibly having a future roadmap if you have ADAS needs, lane departure, distance management. Those are all things that we're capable of, but our feelings are that there's so many new vehicles out there that already have that built in. And then again, if the driver's doing his job and focusing on the road and not turning his head, he's going to be able to manage that distance effectively himself. being that most of it is from distraction, being on the phone, looking down anyways. And so we want to help your drivers focus on the road. But again, if there is a greater need or a larger need, please talk to us. It's something that we do have. It's just an added cost. And we wanted to give you every ability to just have a lower price solution. But again, can be a discussion. Feel free to reach out and discuss that. All right. So a couple of unique features that we have full screen blur and full screen blackout, and this goes to the privacy. And so this is a feature that I think is one of those, wow features. So when you're going out and actually doing demos to new prospects, this is something that you're definitely going to want to show them. There are some owners, fleet managers out there, as you all know, that are apprehensive and feel like they have to put their drivers on the screen, and that's but they're still, maybe that's why they're not ready to purchase. This right here is fantastic. So you can demo the full blackout, and it shows the actual AI. Oops, let me go back. And it shows the actual AI in progress. And you can see that with the head bob with the square around the head, and then the bar that measures the algorithm before for trigger on the left-hand side there. So full AI with even a full blackout. And to segue back to what I was talking about the power on the edge, most of the camera companies, and this is really important, most of the camera companies that have this technology are doing this in the cloud. That is a big no-no when it comes to specific driver privacy. The reason being is that if you pulled that SD card and or anybody pulled that SD card out of that camera and then went and plugged it in and played it, you would see the driver's face clear as daylight. Like there's no blur, no blackout, nothing. And so that is, privacy infringement. When you say that you're blacking out or blurring this, particular driver, you have to ensure that you do that all the way through the process. And so that's what we do. And one of the unique features is that we also offer the AI behind, on the edge with the blackout and the blurring. And so, you know, very competitive advantages with just these features right here, as well as great marketing tools. They look fantastic when you're running the videos and it's showing the actual AI working, with the blackout. So again, very important. This is something I would bookmark if when you get a copy of this, this presentation. Those are things that you definitely want to focus on. They're wow moments. They're, people really appreciate that. And again, it gets them to lean into it and understand that there's a lot of really solid technology behind this product. All right. So I talked about a self-install. We do have 3-wire if you need it. That's not really where the best features or where the best installation is. Obviously, it's OBD2 with which again is included in the kit, no added cost. 3-wire by request. But here's the one thing that I think is really important is we have a sentry mode where with the OBD2 only, the car goes into the device goes into a low power mode. And so if something happens, and some of you that have kits have probably already seen this, to where by the time you already shut your door and sit down, it's already turning on and it's telling you, this vehicle is protected by VuDrive, or, it's fantastic. And so, somebody breaks into the vehicle, somebody smashes the window, somebody hits the car, it's going to turn on and start recording that incident. And that's through OBD2 only. And so I just want to be very clear on that. But we do have that sentry mode that is very useful for capturing the unknown damage. How did this happen? Nobody knows. It wasn't an accident. It wasn't, tailgating too close and bumping. It was something where the driver wasn't in there and he really doesn't know. And so parking damage typically. With that, we have an installation wizard, and I discussed this. You scan a QR code on the lid of the box and takes you right to that install wizard that walks you through it within a few minutes. So again, a very simple install process, and it's improving weekly. We're looking at that constantly to see where we can improve that. and make it even more easy. So any suggestions you all have, we love feedback as you get these demos and these kits. Let us know. We always want to improve. We always want to make these processes across the board much easier and less labor intensive. All right. So pricing. It's $180 per kit. If they were to buy the hardware up front, and then it's just 13 bucks, and that is the platform plus the data. So again, very low cost to you. And the beautiful part of it is it's as low as $19.40 a month to you all, and that includes the hardware and through the program that I'm about to discuss. And so very low cost. Again, they can purchase all the hardware up front and then just have the monthly. That's fine. But I think where the market's at, where the industry's at, where the customers are at is I don't want to, I don't want to put too much money out right now. I want to, let's just do the monthly, roll it in, keep it simple, keep it low cost, and keep my money in the bank right now, and not have all that upfront cost as a burden. So the leasing option, it's through Ascenium, who's been, Ascenium's been around for, as long as I've been in this, decades. And so a very strong choice in the fleet industry. They know this industry inside and out. I've had multiple conversations with them. They're very educated and very smart in the industry, and they understand a lot of our partners and resellers are already, in their system and already have accounts set up. And so makes it even much easier. But working with Ascenium has been a joy, and I'll show you the portal that they've supplied for us as well, and how to kind of go through and put your margins in and look at pricing. But some of the advantages of working with Ascenium is they fund the deal 100% upfront, all of it. They give us our hardware costs, and then they give you everything for the, whether it's 24-month, 36-month, 39-month. They give you all of that up front. So you have working capital, as well as, put it in the bank, make even more margins, get some interest on that money. So there's a lot of opportunity to cut costs all around by working with Ascenium. It's, again, going to allow you to have working capital, all that money back to you up front to reinvest either into the business or to put into a fund that maybe gets you a higher percentage of money back so that you're actually getting more margins on that specific money. And so I think it's a fantastic program as well, because it is 100% funded up front, and Ascenium basically assumes that, holds the paper. There's no liability on you all whatsoever. If someone defaults, if someone wants to get out of the contract early, that's negotiated through and handled by Ascenium. So again, turnkey, simple, like pushing them to Ascenium and having a, all-in fee also does all of this for you in the background. You don't have to worry about them not paying and then chasing that money. You don't have to worry about them, wanting to get out of this early and how do I negotiate this and what's this going to do? You're clean of it. You don't have to worry about that. You just focus on growing your business. Another thing is approvals in less than 2 hours, and so they say typically under an hour, but not more than 2 hours. So it's a very, very quick approval process. And it's a very simple application process. And I'll walk through that here shortly. But I think it's a great program. I think it's very easy. It makes your life easy. It makes your marketing easier when you can have that one price. And again, Ascenium handles it all. And I'll show you how we do that here in a second. But very happy to have this program up and running. And let me, so now we're going to jump to the Ascentium portal. So give me one sec here. And let me pull that up. And, one sec here. There we go. All right. So let me unpause this. And so this is a link that I've sent out to a handful of you. And for the rest of you, I'll make sure to get this out to you. And so this is, I mean, everything's already figured out. And so all you have to do, all the cost is already assumed in this. And so in this, our the platform is $13. The hardware is we put it at 200 in this, so it includes shipping. So we want to just all keep it simple, very easy and again low touch for you all. So if you wanted to put, all you have to do is simply put your margins in. So typically on the platform, you're seeing anywhere from $8 to $15. So if you were to go like, I want $8 margins per device, and then on the hardware, we'll just do like a $25 markup. And it's, total of 10 units. So you put that in here and you can see everything's already figured out. So at 39 months, you're under $30 with $8 of margins and $25 on that device. Now that's fair margins, but we have resellers that are selling this for, advertising for $40 and selling it at $34.95. And so, it's really, your customers, who, what your price points are and what you're going for. And, we do cater to that, either one. And so you come in here and put that in here, and then you can look at what that cost is, equipment cost, net funding, net price per unit. And then once you're settled on the margins and you want to send this over to your customer, and they're interested in the program, simply hit apply now, and it pulls up the business credit application. All you do is copy this up here, copy this because it goes directly to this specific application for the specific cost. And you can see all the costs broken down in here, and allows them to go ahead and start signing out and filling that information. So you would literally just copy the page, the URL. And I would probably put it in a hyperlink, make it, have like a dedicated template, and then you just pop this into a hyperlink that you already have preset up in your template to make it easy. And then they just go through the steps. And then again, within an hour to 2 hours, everything's wrapped up. You'll get funded right away and we're good to go. So that's how simple it is. And to get set up as a partner, it's, I'll put you in connect with Bridget, who's the VP. She sets up an account for you, and you're off and running. And so it's a very simple, very easy program. Again, plugging in what you want your margins to be, and then just going through the process. So, and you can see Bridget's information is at the top. She's the vice president of sales over at Ascenium and very knowledgeable, again, understands the industry, and a very comfortable conversation and a great program. So yeah, hope you all take advantage of that, because I think it's a definite advantage. And for those of you that like higher margins, I'll just for fun go in here and play with it just to see where you would be, and you'd be what, just under $40 at $15 in margins and $50 per device. So healthy margins in here, a lot of opportunity, for you all to just make some money and not have to be too labor intensive on it, and then have everyone hold the burden after the sale, right? You still manage your customer, you're still there for them for support, but you don't have to worry about the billing or any of that stuff. So love the program. And I hope you all take advantage of it. And again, any questions on this, feel free either to type it in if it's something that you want to ask here, or feel free to reach out to me after this and I'll go through it. We'll do an introduction to Bridget, and just make sure you guys are comfortable, understand the program, and all the benefits to it. All right, so I'm going to move into the platform. I'm going to do it, like I said, a high level. Don't want to take your all's too much time, and we can dive in deeper once. Also I have the link to the other demo that I did that's a little bit more in depth. So one sec. And start that. All right. So this is our standalone platform. Again, available for, we do have open APIs. And so if you have your own platform, we can, put the data into your platform with our open APIs. And so it makes it very easy. But for now, I'm just going to show you quickly our platform. And it is very robust with the information it has, but the information is very easy to find. And so you'll see um, this main dashboard is dedicated to this time frame up above. And so you can see in this time frame the number of events, the number of trips, the events by type, so the different events that we manage.
Chris,
Then
sorry, we
also,
can't see the dashboard. You need to share the screen.
there we go. Sorry about that. Thank you. So this is the events and the trips for the time frame that showed up here up top, the events by type, and then device status. And so this very easily, if you don't have any devices that are, if you have devices that are blocked, that are inactive, you're going to see all that shown here, which makes it very easy again to just check in. We're good. Everything's active and move on. On the bottom part is all of your high risk trips. And so all the trips that have higher than, 5 events on it, we're going to list them out here again for a quick view. So if you wanted to jump into that trip, you just hit view, go right into it and see what those events were, what was entailed on that trip that created so many different events and what those events were. And then, of course, all those different events make up scores. And so we want to ensure that the scores are also prominently placed so you can see your drivers. But we also score vehicles. And the reason we score vehicles is because we have the facial recognition and we know people jump from vehicle to vehicle. And so if a particular vehicle is being beat up and it has, more wear and tear than other vehicles, well, you're probably going to want to find out which drivers on that particular vehicle are beating it up, and you'll see it in the score. You'll see hard braking events. You'll see a ton of acceleration events or hard cornering events. So really allows for flexibility to be able to monitor the drivers as they go through the different is if they utilize different vehicles as well as just that single vehicle to manage the wear and tear on it. And then the map, you can blow up the map and manage everything from here as far as diving into the different vehicles within your fleet. And so you can see how it's very quick and reactive. And then all of the stuff that you need to utilize is on the left-hand side. And so as you go down, everything's here and it's pretty straightforward. You've got your fleet management. So as a reseller, you can see all of your different fleets here that you're managing. And then again, it cascades down. So you can see all the different fleets, all the different regions that a particular customer may have added. And so it's a quick view into all your customers and all their different regions. All the vehicles associated with whichever fleet that is. And so you're going to have a list of the vehicles and who the drivers are. This is the list of devices that you have in your account for that particular fleet, or all fleets if you're at the top level of the hierarchy. And then the drivers, all the different drivers that have been in a particular vehicle or within the vehicles within your fleet. And this is where when you see new, this is how easy it is to establish a driver, right? So as soon as all these are installed, it's going to take and turned on and the driver's sitting there and it's going to say, hey, this is a new person. Is this one of your drivers? You just go in, change the name, put some information in their email, and then set them up. They can also have access to their events. So when they log in, they can see just their information. So a really nice feature as well to allow them to kind of thumb through and see, what's good, what's bad, how their driving habits are. On top of that, we recognize drivers that aren't associated and we highlight it. We let you know, hey, it's either, somebody who's not part of the fleet has been driving this vehicle. The what I use in that is, my brother-in-law and my sister, he works for the Encinitas city and gets to bring trucks home constantly. Well, she's not allowed to drive those vehicles. Nobody is. And so this will capture that immediately, and rectify that situation. And so as a fleet manager, you'd be notified of the event, and then you'd be able to go ahead and, make a phone call, and just say, hey, we can't have your family members driving the vehicles. And so it really rings home. I know that that's happened several times. And I know that the companies don't quite like that. So it's liability issues. And so we protect against those types of issues. Um, Moving down, it's activity tracking. And activity tracking is where all of your trips are stored. And so we'll go last month, and then all of your events as well. And so you can see all the events associated with the different time period as well. The videos, which you have access to, you can filter up top by event types to see just what you want to see. And then what's really great is that we have a My Save Trips feature. And so if you star any of those trips in here because you want to save them for any period of time, maybe there was an accident, maybe a driver did something egregious, whatever it may be, or maybe your driver did something fantastic in a maneuver and you want to save it and use it as a presentation for new drivers. This is what we expect. It's not always about the bad things. It's always, it's there's a lot of good things out there that you can star and use for representation of safe maneuvers. And so with that, you can go ahead and star it. It's saved forever. So until you take that star off of that event, it's saved. And so you'll be able to run into it, all the videos saved. You can view all the events associated with it, as well as the events associated with it. And so it's very cool feature. Makes again saving these for discussions with the drivers much easier. And again, here's the blur and the blackout. And then you can just play your videos from here. You can see the full blur on me on the phone, in the trigger. And so, yeah, pretty simple, very easy system. That's really all there is to it. And I really appreciate your all's time. Any questions you have, feel free to enter them. I'll stick around for a few minutes and see if there are any additional questions on this. But I do look forward to speaking with you all and demoing the product and helping you guys get it set up and rolling it out. Like I said, it's a turnkey. You should be up and running within a week or two. We have a large marketing folder as well, with a lot of resources for you, as well as videos, a lot of videos, and we continue to create. But let us know what's not there. We're here to help continue to evolve and drive and create stuff that helps you all become better. And we want to help you, in any way, shape, or form we can. So again, really appreciate all your time. I hope it was beneficial, and I hope you learned a lot. But I'll be reaching out to you guys if you don't reach out to me first, and we can talk about how to get you all started, and any additional questions you have. All right, so if you don't have any questions, feel free. If you do, let me check. Let's see. Nothing yet. Doesn't look like anyone's got anything specific. And I think I went through everything in detail. All right. Well, I think we're good. Like I said, I didn't want to keep y'all for too long. Wanted to cut it a little short and give you guys some time back. But again, appreciate your time. We'll send the copy of the webinar out, as well as the previous one can be found in the marketing folder, which is much more detailed into the system. Thank you all for coming. Appreciate you all, and look forward to speaking with you all in the very near future. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. Thank you.